What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flying Brown's Garage. This is part 2 of tweaking and playing with the carburetor. Just kind of experimenting and seeing. I guess I'm just bored. But yeah, just to kind of experimenting with this thing, seeing air fuel mixtures and so on and so forth. But yep, this is part 2, so we're going to go ahead and continue on with what we were filming a couple days ago, and then we will continue with what I am working on with it tonight. Another day, same project. So I actually just went to the auto parts store, had to get some butt connectors because I was out. I also got 2 switches. Okay, one for that tractor, alternator, and then one for this tractor, alternator. Technically not an alternator, it's called a stator, but I mean it does the same sort of thing that an alternator does. I mean it charges to an extent. Butt connectors, put it all together, and then I got fancy and bought me a $1.99 pack of snap blade knives. So there's an assortment of a few in there, and these will help me cut gaskets and anything of that sort. Fired it up today and rode it around just a little bit, and I noticed it is too loud. So I found a muffler that I had laying around the shop, and I welded it on. Now it is a bit quieter. I want it to start. Come on. Duh. I don't have the spark plug wire hooked up. Idiot. A little quieter. Sounds kind of like a foiler now. So she snorkeled, that snorkeled. All we have to do at this point is get the charging system hooked up to the battery and hooked up to a switch. That way I can turn it off, because I don't have the diode to put in there, and I don't trust the electrical. I'd rather have it on a switch. That way I just turn it on and off as I use it. I like switches. I know that shit works when it's on a switch. When it's running on a relay or a diode, I don't have a clue if it's working. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get my tools ready. Pop this valve cover off. We're going to get the engine to top dead center. We are going to set our valves to 5 to 6 thousandths of an inch with the feeler gauge. And then we should be tweaked and tuned, and the compression release should be working fine, and it should be running like a dream. Alright, here we are. We need feeler gauges. You need a 3/8. Yep, you need a 3/8 socket. You need an oil pan, oil drain pan, Put that under the valve cover. That way we don't get any oil on our nice dirt floor. Like it would make a shit. But it just helps from making a mess. Boy, that oil in there is clean. Clean, clean, clean. Looks good. So, got our valve cover. Got our bolts there. Now you're going to need a spark plug socket, whatever size you're running. This one's running a 3/4 inch stubby spark plug. Some run a 5/8, some run whatever. So get your spark plug socket that fits your spark plug. Remove your plug. Going to need a long-handled flathead screwdriver. Or Phillips would do. Preferably a skinny one. And then we're going to find top dead center. So there's our piston there. Let's turn the engine. Make sure that you kind of slide the screwdriver along as you go up. You don't want to just jam it in there and apply pressure to it. You want to just kind of free hold it. Just make sure it's touching the tip. You can feel it touch the end of the piston head. But you don't want to put it in there at an angle, because if you do, you can mess up your piston, you can mess up your cylinder wall, and you can mess up your threads for your spark plug hole. So we're going to come up. There we go. Going down. There's our exhaust valve. It's being compressed. It's coming back up. There's our intake valve. It's being compressed. It's coming back up. Exhaust. Intake. Top dead center. It's top dead center right there. Check our valves. Yep, they are loose. Let's find 6/1000ths. Just so happens mine is first on the deal. Yep, that's a little loose. That's extremely loose. Okay, so now what we're going to need is, I do believe that's also a 3/8. No, that's a 10mm. It's gotta be 10. That's a 10. So we got a 10 for the nut, and I think that's a T20. Yep, and a T20 Torx bit. So what we're going to do is you want to loosen your T20. Back it out just a little bit. Alright, so now what we want to do is you want to take your 6/1000 feeler gauge, you want to put it in there, and you want to tighten the 10mm. I usually just use like a screwdriver, just a socket and an extension, kind of use it as a screwdriver because you don't want to put too much on it. Now you want it to slide in there, but you don't want it to be extremely loose. Like that's probably good right there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to leave that there. Now I need a 10mm wrench. So I'm going to go grab that real quick. Because your 10mm wrench is going to help you hold this in place while you tighten down T20, because the T20 is what locks it in. So make sure she don't move and get it snug. And then your valves should be adjusted. To 6/1000. Let's get our handy dandy screwdriver here. Let's tighten up our intake valve. These engines, usually the intake's up top. Exhaust is down low, but actually exhaust rides right in here. So that's your exhaust valve. They're good engines though. Love me a good Briggs. Alright, now that that's torqued down, we've got both our deals set to 6/1000. Now what we're going to do is we'll put the feeler gauges away. Now, let's put our spark plug back in real quick. I always like to get it started by hand. That way you know you're not binding it up, or stripping, or cross threading, or anything of that sort. And then get it rolling in there. Let's go 7/16. 3/8, I should say. Not 7/16. 3/8. Your 4 bolts. 2, 3. Fourth one. Here's our valve cover. cover's on. Let's fire this thing up. See if the compression releases. Doing what I want it to do. You know, I might need to hook the spark plug up. I hooked our inline spark tester up just to be sure that we're getting adequate spark. That runs really good. No more backfiring out of the carburetor. I finished it off camera because I had to do all kinds of stuff to it, but here's the setup. It was getting too much fuel, so I had to add air. It runs great. My choke is in a different area, so there's my choke. My throttle, there's a linkage all the way down to my governor, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not going to run it long. I just figured I'd cut it on when the train came by. Forgot to turn the camera on when I did it, but there's our charging wire. You can see the switch right here. Got our wires ran down. One's connected in the red wire going into the under the flywheel, which goes to the stator, and the other one goes up to the battery. And then there's an off-on switch. Alright guys, so I'm just going to take a quick second here and got to say a couple things. I guess this is my little commercial, but subscribe to the channel. Go down there and like it, because it don't get seen if you don't like it. Apparently YouTube has some kind of weird algorithm or whatever hell it's called, that just, if you don't like and engage in the videos, they don't get seen as much. So comment down below, like the videos, go check out Facebook, the Instagram, and I'm probably going to lose the Snapchat soon, so I wouldn't even bother with that. Other than that, yeah, go do all those things, and go check out some of the previous videos that I've filmed before. There's tons of videos on this channel, and you know, there's pretty good videos back then, and it'll kind of show you where I've came from and where I've gotten to. So go check out those videos and keep engaging with ones I'm making, and that's all I really got to say. So let's get back into the video. Well, after a bit of playing around, I figured out that I actually was starving of air. So we got our carburetor back to where it was before, because I had it crazy little manifold built. It worked alright and it worked good, and I could have kept it that way, but with this being on there, I wanted to drop it back down and make it simple. Got a spring going from the governor to keep the governor drawn this way. I made a bracket for my throttle cable out of the plate that was here. We got our return spring on our throttle. Everything works. I'll go ahead and hit the gas. It all works, so let's go ahead and fire it up. Oh, man, it was starved of fuel. Come on. I'm probably going to have to go back to the original carburetor, because it's just not, it's not doing what I wanted it to do. But this was an experiment, so. And it failed, but you know, we always fail at some point or another. Probably just going to have to get a kit next time. It's not, didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but you know, it's what the experiment's for. Check it out, see what I can do with it. I had a spare carburetor, so it ain't gonna hurt nothing. But I am gonna go back to the original setup. I think that's the best thing for me to do at this point, and you know, that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna leave that air box, new air filter, because what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lay it up in there and shut the hood. So be good enough. Good airflow and right amount of fuel. She'll run right. So hope you guys enjoyed this little experiment. I was just kind of playing around. Hoped it would have came out better, but you know, here in the shop where I'm kind of limited on stuff, you know, it is worth a shot. So I'll probably find something to do with that carburetor later on. I'm sure I'll get a bigger engine that'll accommodate for it. So, but until then, guys, I will think I'm gonna get the new project in the shop and get it going. So I'll probably be filming that one tomorrow. Y'all stay tuned for it. It's an old revival. We're gonna see if we can get it running and riding again. in probably more than 20 years, if not more. So I feel like it'll be a good one, and y'all should check it out when it drops. So until then, check out the Facebook, the YouTube, or not the YouTube, the Facebook, the Instagram, and the Snapchat. I don't know what I'm thinking. Go subscribe to the YouTube. Go down there and like that video and give me a comment, you know. Got any questions or just want to tell me where I went wrong. But, y'all know the drill. Till then, I'll see y'all in the next episode.